I think the thing I am most excited about today is just being with these amazing alumni in person in the real live world, not just on Facebook, not just online, not just in email, not just on the phone or Skype. I'm so excited to be actually in the real live presence with these amazing humans. I am just so incredibly grateful for all of you to be here, and I know how difficult it is. Again, taken days off of work, left your kids, traveled, whatever. It's a commitment, and I'm so incredibly grateful to all of you guys for making that commitment. I'm honored, I'm humbled, I'm just really, I'm gonna cry. No, I can't cry. You guys, most of you know, whoever knows me, you know I cry. You're gonna cry? There's definitely gonna be tears at some point.
Keri is so willing to meet with you one-on-one, and she's been my #1 mentor. And I think that people think, oh, I'm going to be part of this community, but I don't really get any FaceTime, and that's so not true. You really, if you make the effort, Keri she's been so excited, enthusiastic about helping me in any way she can. And think about her community and her connection. So anytime I'm like, do you know anyone that does this, or that might be able to help me with that, she gets back to you really quickly, always helps. And it's just nice to know that you have somebody that's so big in the industry with so many connections that's on your side.
I really loved how, again, I think it's why I probably have a connection with each of them in the wellness world, but I think it's, and they're obviously also all really smart, talented people, so grateful that they were here for all of you, but I also think just sort of looking back right now at all of them, I'm like, it's really amazing how everybody, it is very synergistic.
Passionate. Just, she exudes joy. She's clearly very informed, and she knows what she's talking about, but she loves what she does. And that just jumped out at me even through a computer screen. And so I just wanted to be a part of what she was doing.
I'm so proud of Keri because she's built the nutrition school on her own, and she started this on her own, and that was a huge, that was a step forward for many of us in the industry to be able to have your own course. And I commend you for it too, because I don't know how many hours you've spent on putting this together, but you are all so special to her. And I personally know that because of the way she speaks about each of you.
Everybody has slight different takes on their, on their position in wellness, and that's what makes the world go round. And everybody has, there's slight differences in how they educate and how they teach and what they think, what their views are. But I thought there was a very big common theme, and this is sort of why I had, chosen each one of them, or I guess why I, have a relationship with each one of them, or why I admire them is, there's some synergy with Nutritious Life.
We're part of this amazing sisterhood. We have this ability to connect with each other, and yet, if we get locked into that small part of our brain, the amygdala, our limbic system, that fight-flight reaction, then we're constantly caught in that sort of me or them. But when you can connect to something bigger than that, really to something that's greater than that community, that sense of oneness, then that's what makes me happy.
So Nicole is the marketing and partnership manager at Gotham Greens, and she's going to talk all about urban farming. And she brought us some beautiful lettuces back there, which I'm so excited about. Greens make all of us happy. All right, our next speaker, the gorgeous Dr. Whitney Bowe. I find her to be, as she is, incredibly brilliant, and love chatting with her about everything, life, work, kids, everything, right?
She's basically my mentor. She's saying we're friends, but she's actually guiding me along.
Yes.
In many ways.
Thank you. It's about you right now.
I'm Elisa. I am the founder of a website called flowliving.com. And for the past 15 years, I've been taking care of 200 women in 216 countries. So we've been able to really democratize the conversation about hormones to a really large audience.
What happens is that when you activate a state by intention, and you rehearse that state of love, that state of joy, that state of strength, that state of appreciation, not because something changed, because you've decided you're going to activate that state, the nerve cells in the brain, they start to fire and wire in new ways. They interrupt the old patterns, the old neural pathways. And as you interrupt the old neural pathways, they weaken. The thought of I'm fat starts to weaken when it's replaced with I am strong, I am enough, I can, I will. But what happens even more exciting is that if you do this, neuroscience now confirms that when you use the mind to intentionally develop and create a state of being at will, if you do that consistently, that state becomes a trait. Do you know what that means? Your personality changes.
I go to Keri for just about everything. She is just so helpful and giving with information and support that is definitely the number one reason that I am proud to be Nutritious Life Certified.
All of you are so powerful, and I don't mean that to sound just like corny and cliche and like trying to like pump you up. I'm saying it like I'm literally, like you literally are powerful. And again, it's not me trying to pump you up. That's from a, like, think about the things we talked about yesterday, from like diabetes, you know, losing a certain amount of weight and, you know, a small amount of weight and, you know, increasing your lifespan for, you know, 5 to 10 years. Those are things that you can really give to your clients and help them turn into action, you know, help them take from just, okay, the thought of like, oh, I'm supposed to meditate, oh, I'm supposed to exercise, oh, like, you can, even if you're changing one of those things, and again, I just listed 3 things, but I mean, there's obviously, we know there's 1,000 different things that you could, different little tips that you can give to, it doesn't have to be a client, to a friend, to a parent, to a sibling, to anybody, you know, so all of those little tips that you give can be so impactful. And I mean, that's just, you guys should feel really good that you're, and again, going back to what I said this morning, the fact that you're even here puts you so many steps ahead of the game. And I don't mean ahead of the game like in a competitive way. I'm saying just ahead of like your own game, your own race. Ahead in your own race as far as like you invested this time and energy in yourselves, and that's huge. And so feel really powerful and empowered knowing that like you can really do something with all this information.
I was even saying I'm kind of gonna rethink the way that I initially assess a client. I mean, I'm learning so much about specifically women's issues here, so I think it's gonna change my life for the better. I know it's gonna change my clients' lives for the better. Just a wealth of information here. It's very good.
I recommend that everybody that is interested in, if they're just interested in nutrition, but especially if they want to work one-on-one with clients, or they have a blog, or just about the business side, I think it's so important, and maybe just as important as my school at NYU. I think, you know, in such a shorter, more efficient time, I got just as much out of it.